Micah was an amazing husband, father, and provider.
The community is remembering Nevada Highway Patrol Trooper Micah May. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us at 6. I'm Vanessa Murphy.
And I'm Christian Cáceres. Today the community gathered for a procession through the valley. A service was held for May at Central Church in Henderson. Hundreds were in attendance, according to Joe Mueller, who gives us a look at how May was remembered.
He genuinely loved helping and protecting people and showed it in the way he treated the public.
A community says goodbye to a fallen hero.
I doubt, but only the minute few would step out as he did. And more than once, I have been told he did so.
From Las Vegas, Mayor Carolyn Goodman to the head of the Nevada Highway Patrol, Colonel Ann Carpenter. Local leaders wanted to honor the man who leaves behind a wife and children.
To his wife, Joanna, kids, Raylan and Melody, you carry his name, which will live on through the children he loves so dearly.
It was his family Trooper May saw just before his life was taken.
Just before Trooper May went on his last call, he learned that his family was shopping and surprised them all during his break. He left, though, because he felt like he was needed by his fellow troopers. That one snapshot in a life that by all accounts was truly honorable speaks volumes for him.
Both of May's brothers shared stories about their childhoods together.
We've spent a lot of time in the woods, too. Micah loved to find the tallest trees and climb them. And he would climb all the way to the top and never show any fear of heights.
Trooper May was described as a patriot and a hero. He did not only protect and save lives during his career, he also saved more after.
Trooper May's final act of grace ended with the donation of his heart, liver, and both kidneys, which saved 4 lives.
Joe Mueller, 8 News Now.
A truly emotional day for sure. Well, you can tell how appreciated Trooper May was. A lot of people stopped to salute the procession, and law enforcement agencies from all over the country were here to honor him as well. Vanessa.
And after today's funeral, a procession made its way to Trooper May's final resting place. Sasha Loftus was there for his burial. She joins us from Palm Eastern Cemetery. Hi, Sasha.
Hearts were heavy here today as Trooper Micah May was officially laid to rest. The end of an entire day dedicated to his selfless service here in Southern Nevada. Trooper May's casket was brought in and saluted by members of law enforcement. The ceremony also involved a helicopter flyover before Trooper May was lowered into the ground, and his widow, Joanna May, was handed a folded American flag so she and her children could say their final goodbyes. Nevada Highway Patrol says this moment wasn't just important to honor Trooper May, but also to remind his family that all of Las Vegas is behind them.
This is about the family. It's important that they know how important Micah was to this community and how important he was to all of us officers that wear the badge. As painful as it is for me to relive that horrible day, it's important to me that the community sees what Micah stood for and what we've lost.
Trooper Smacka also said this beautiful event is a symbol of our city's heart, an ability to come together in times of unimaginable grief. Now, there was also a riderless horse here to symbolize a fallen hero, and Trooper Smacka said though Trooper May is gone, he will never be forgotten. Reporting in Las Vegas tonight, Sasha Loftus, 8 News Now.
Trooper May grew up in Greenfield, Massachusetts. In 2008, he tested for the Nevada Highway Patrol and moved to Las Vegas.
We're taking a look at the latest numbers in the pandemic. The Nevada Health Response reported 26 deaths and 1,299 new cases. That brings the statewide total to over 363,000 cases. Today, the death toll surpassed 6,000 cases. And today, Governor Steve Sisolak issued a statement on the death toll. He said, quote, "Today we have lost more than 6,000 Nevadans to COVID-19 since the start of the pandemic in early 2020. This is another significant and heartbreaking milestone for our state." He went on to say, "I want to encourage all Nevadans who have not yet done so to please consider getting the COVID-19 vaccine as soon as possible. The vaccines are free, safe, and incredibly effective at preventing severe illness, hospitalization, and death."
Well, remember the surge in COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations last summer? The state reports numbers right now have surpassed that. Leaders in the state's fight against COVID-19 held a virtual briefing this afternoon. An area which is causing major concern right now is the healthcare system. The Hospital Association reports people who are not vaccinated are showing up to hospitals sick with COVID-19 and putting a strain on the system. And they make up about a third of patients in the intensive care units. The Hospital Association also reports overcrowding in hospitals and staffing shortages at 5 in southern Nevada, again because of the unvaccinated. Governor Steve Sisolak saying Thursday the Delta variant is spreading like wildfire and that almost every person who has died of COVID-19 in the state this year was not vaccinated. In Clark County, about 47% of those eligible for the vaccine have received it, but leaders say that's not enough because, again, we are seeing a surge. Their message, get vaccinated.
That takes not just a government directive or a mandate or private sector. That takes the public and everyone involved to really all meet in the middle and make sure that we're getting shots in arms. Those who have shots in arms will likely never end up in a hospital for COVID. That's the facts. And so we have to focus on that path because the other alternative is looking pretty scary.
Governor Sisolak says he's not leaning toward a vaccine mandate or vaccine passport right now, but he is asking for businesses and organizers to come up with solutions, and we may slowly see a vaccine requirement for more specific situations like for healthcare workers on college campuses and more. And another reminder, the vaccine is free, and if you feel that the vaccine or COVID-19 testing are not accessible to you, you can contact the state and put in a request. They may try to set up a location near you. We'll have a link at 8newsnow.com.
Well, Vanessa, the town of Elko has voted not to comply with Governor Sisolak's reinstated mask mandate. According to the Elko Daily Free Press, a crowded audience applauded the county commission's vote on Wednesday to resist the masks. Now, the move applies to the unincorporated areas and not to the cities of Elko, Carlin, Wells, and West Wendover. Right now, only 29.7% of Elko's population is vaccinated.
A man is behind bars tonight after police say he shot and killed a man earlier this week. 27-year-old Hugo Gonzalez was arrested yesterday and is charged with 1 count of murder. On Monday, Metro responded to a fight near Tropicana and Lindell. That's when they found 30-year-old James Edgar May with over 10 gunshot wounds. May was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead.
Well, 3 people are facing murder and kidnapping charges in the death of 27-year-old Roy Jagers of Las Vegas. His body was found in Cathedral Canyon in Nye County. Investigators say Heather Pate was his neighbor and believed he hurt her child. That's when they lured him into a home and beat him. All 3 suspects are being held at the Nye County Detention Center without bail.
Southern Nevada home prices are breaking records. The average price of a home now at the $400,000 mark. That's according to a report released today from Las Vegas Realtors. LVR reported the median price of existing single-family homes sold through its multiple listing service during July was $405,000. That tops the previous record set in June. The median home price is up 22.7% from 1 year ago. Wow.
Wow. Well, Vanessa, Frontier Airlines is the latest company announcing a vaccine policy. Effective October 1st, all employees must be fully vaccinated against COVID-19 or provide proof of a negative test on a regular basis. Frontier is also encouraging customers to get vaccinated with an update to its Popular Friends Fly Free program. Discounts and bonus miles are up for grabs for those that are fully vaccinated.
Christian, tonight cancellations continue for Spirit Airlines. While they hope to resume more flights yesterday, more issues today. We just checked McCarran's website. Many flights show canceled, both departing and arrivals. The airline released a statement stating the delays and cancellations were due to weather and operational challenges. And contrary to internet rumors, the airline's pilots and baggage handlers are not on strike. More cancellations are expected through the weekend.
A traffic alert now. An ongoing construction project is causing some closures on the north end of the Strip next week. Las Vegas Boulevard between Elvis Presley and Sahara will be limited to one lane in each direction from 7 a.m. on Monday to 2 p.m. next Friday. Drivers should expect some delays and use an alternate route if possible.
Preparations for the demolition of the aging Desert Inn Road Bridge begin next week. Drivers should expect several lane and ramp closures between Boulder Highway and Flamingo Road. NDOT asks those using the roads to use caution and take a detour if possible. Head to 8newsnow.com for a full list of dates, times, and areas closed. Back to school, always a big day for students. For some, they'll get to walk into brand new schools. We'll get our first look at the new digs.
And Valley leaders gather together to help those kids get ready for Monday. We'll show you what they're knocking off the to-do list.
Got a little bit of wind to wind up the week. We'll fill you in on the haze and some possible wildfire smoke for the weekend. Your most accurate Weather Now forecast live.
By Silver State Refrigeration and HVAC. This is 8 News Now, live at 6, with Denise Valdez, Brian Loftus, Ted Florendo, and Chris Matthews. 8 News Now, live at 6. Live, local, now.
As kids gear up for a new school year, there are several new schools opening, along with several that have just moved into new facilities. Madison Kimbrough stopped by 2 elementary schools that held their ribbon cuttings today inside of their new buildings. She joins us live in front of George E. Harris Elementary at Sand Hill and Twain. Madison, pretty exciting for students, right?
Yes, I got a tour, and take a look for yourself. It's quite pretty out here, and the inside is quite stunning too. And the parents and kids I spoke with were very pleased with how everything looked.
I feel pretty happy. The classroom looked awesome. It had a lot of space.
Students, parents, and staff excited for what this new year will bring with brand new replacement schools. Friday, a sneak peek inside George E. Harris and Farron Elementary Schools.
It's exciting for the kids to be in a new building so that they can gain a quality education.
In addition, Mabel Hogard Elementary, Myrtle Tate Elementary, and Sandy Valley High all have new campuses too. Superintendent Dr. Jesus Jara sharing his excitement about these new facilities.
Our work has continued and has intensified during COVID as we're going to deliver world-class education in a 21st century classroom.
Mom Ashima Carter says having her kids back in the classroom is a much-needed step in the right direction.
They were doing the distance learning for so long, and part of me didn't know how they were going to really come out of it. But to see that everybody got feet on the ground running, getting back in school 100% now, it means a lot to me.
Two brand new schools open doors on Monday. Barry and June Gunderson Middle School in the Southwest Valley, as well as Hannah Marie Brown Elementary in Henderson. And as a reminder, school does begin on Monday, so give yourself plenty of time out on the road. Police will be out in full force, making sure that you're not speeding in any of these school zones, so be careful. Reporting live, Madison Kimbrough, 8 News Now.
All right, thank you, Madison. Well, today, Representative Susie Lee visited the vaccination site at Canarelli Middle School. This site offers not only COVID-19 vaccines, but also back-to-school shots. Representative Lee, along with Dr. Le Guin and Dr. Jara, are urging all Nevadans to get vaccinated. They also highlighted the importance of keeping students healthy and protected as they return to the new school year.
And let's get a look at weather with Nate Tannenbaum. Nate, I have a friend who wants to go hiking tomorrow. I think it's too hot, right?
Well, when you get up to the higher elevations, it might be okay. But if you're staying down here, definitely you got to be very careful, Vanessa. And whatever you're doing outdoors, especially with the possibility of some smoke and haze coming in from Southern California wildfires. Now, this view is from our camera on top of the Red Rock Resort. Got a palm tree up on the roof, looking out across the city. So the wind that we've got this afternoon is doing a great job of clearing things out. But you can see the haze beginning to settle, and that wind is blowing in some of that smoke. Officially, we're down to 103 degrees at McCarran, but we wanted to check your neighborhood, see what's going on. A little bit warmer. Henderson hanging on to 106. Same for the Strip downtown. Aliante and the Air Force Base dropping to 104. Green Valley 105. 99 under the century mark in Summerlin, but everybody's experiencing these 10 to 20 mile-an-hour winds. You want to escape that, you do head up to Mount Charleston, where there's a cooler 79, but still some gusty winds up there as well. And a couple of locations have actually had their temperature go up over the last hour. An hour ago, Death Valley was at 114, up to 117 right now. Laughlin at 111, double digits in Cedar City, also up in Ely. Caliente, Lincoln County, good evening. You're at 93, 97 for Kingman. So we made it to 106 today. And every day we have a temperature at or above 100. The folks at Silver State Refrigeration and HVAC donated $100 to pets and vets. That 106, a couple of degrees above normal. No threat to the record. We're going to try to get tomorrow's low a little bit closer to normal, because when you're waking up close to 90 degrees, it's kind of uncomfortable. So the wind will move on. Yesterday's wind kind of settled down, came back again this afternoon, but it is bringing in some smoke and haze from Southern California wildfires. Don't think it's going to completely obscure our visibility, but it probably will be noticeable. Got a couple of severe thunderstorm watches still for parts of South Dakota. Some strong storms moving through there. That's about the worst of it for your family and friends across the country. So for tonight, again, we'll try to get you to 82 tomorrow morning. Watch for some haze, still breezes maybe to 10 or 15. And your 8-day forecast goes like this. Up to 108 from 106, and still maybe some smoke and haze. That will continue on Sunday, but we're going to get it out of here for back to school Monday. Right about normal for the high at 104, maybe up to 105 Tuesday. We are talking about the possibility of monsoon moisture returning next week. So far, we're just going to call it partly cloudy. Certainly worth keeping an eye on. Get out there and stay safe on your weekend. Christian?
All right, Nate, thank you so much. Well, the two largest water reservoirs in the United States continue to hit historic lows. Today, Lake Mead is at 1,067 feet, which is actually 36% full. The second largest, Lake Powell, on the Utah-Arizona border, It's also at a record low at about 32% full. Lake Powell has had to close ramps and force houseboards off the water. That has been hurting tourism there and left businesses scrambling. A federal water shortage is expected to be declared on the Colorado River in the next few weeks. Well, still ahead at 6:30, California's largest wildfire has destroyed another community and threatens even more the destructive power of the Dixie Fire. But first, switching gears, John joins us now here in studio with the first look at sports. Hey, John.
Hey there, Christian. Yeah, this weekend, Raider greats get a moment of a lifetime, all the while current Raiders on the roster try to carve their roles. Sports is next.
Off Point Hotel, Casino and Spa.
When Waller is away, who is going to make a play? That's been the mandated question at Raiders training camp this week. The Silver and Black field, they have enough firepower to overcome the absence of their best player, Darren Waller. The Raiders are still 5 weeks away from the first regular season game, so we can pump the brakes on the panic. But for the past 3 days, Darren Waller has been curiously missing from practice. The Silver and Black field, they have enough receivers and tight ends to fill the void. Foster Moreau is a passionate presence, and the Reverend took the pulpit and preached today.
People don't rise to the occasion. You know, it's not really a real thing. Heroes aren't really made in the moment. Guys normally fall to the level of their training, especially during a sudden change. So when we don't have our centerpiece out there, everyone else has to fall to the level of the training that they've done over the past 7 months. And so at that point, guys kind of have to step up. And if you need a different leader, that's fine. But you have to take responsibility for yourself to be able to handle a little bit more of a snap share, but also do your job and just try to hone in on the details.
Can I get a witness, Foster? Thank you. Now, they are known for their success in Silver and Black, but they will be remembered in bronze. The The Pro Football Hall of Fame induction ceremony is this weekend in Canton, Ohio. 2 Raider greats will be front and center and receiving the honor of a lifetime. There are only 8 members of the 2021 class, but 2 hit home for Raider Nation. Super Bowl winning coach Tom Flores finally gets his chance to be on stage in Canton. He's joined by Charles Woodson, a defensive back who started his career in Oakland and came back to finish it. This weekend is a tribute to the defensive back and his mentor.
You know, with the Raiders just being drafted, 4th overall was a pretty big deal. And to me, it was really all about the relationships and the guys that I was able to play alongside out there. Legends of the game, Tim Brown's here. The only thing I'm missing here is Willie Brown this time of year. I remember being on sidelines, and he would always leave and come to the Hall of Fame this time of year during training camp, and then he'd come back and tell me about it and say, Charles, I can't wait till you go in. I'm going to be right there.
Las Vegas Joey Gallo was feeling it yesterday. When a player is traded at the MLB deadline, it's because he is seen as a catalyst for playoff contention. It's a lot of pressure. Magnify that by 1,000 when it comes to the Yankees. The Bishop Gorman grad was traded last week from the Texas Rangers, but yet to hit a home run in pinstripes. Last night he faced former Gorman grad Paul Sewald of the Mariners. It was a Las Vegas reunion and a historic one. Joey Gallo went Las Vegas launching, giving his team, the Yankees, the lead and sending the Bronx into a frenzy. What a moment. Bonanza grad Chris Bryant continues to thrive for his team, San Francisco. Bonanza High School grad, started a 9th inning rally with a double, and then in the 10th delivered a game-winning hit. Bryant, the Giant, fits. And Bryce Harper, only 28 years old, but last night the Las Vegas High School product hit his 250th career home run. The milestone is impressive, but also validating as it happened against his former team, the Nationals, as his former fan base was booing him the entire game. Back to you, Christian.
All right, thank you, John. Well, coming up at 6:30, travel chaos continues for Spirit Airlines and its customers. As of this morning, the low-cost airline has already canceled more than 250 flights. We hear more from those frustrated passengers.
And state and federal officials continue to implement policies to try to slow the spread of COVID-19, urging more people to get vaccinated. This as the cases nationwide skyrocket.
Stone. Call 702 get more. This is your weather now.
Good evening with Christian Considus and Vanessa Murphy. Nathan Tannenbaum in the 8 News Now Weather Center in for Ted Florent. A lot of blue sky today, but some winds gusting up to 30 miles an hour. We're also going to be talking about the possibility of some widespread haze, maybe some smoke from Southern California wildfires off and on all weekend long. This is 8 News Now, live, local, now.
Now at 6:30, another day of delays and cancellations for Spirit Airlines. We'll look at when things will resolve.
Slowing the spread of COVID, more mandates and rules are in place tonight. We'll tell you the latest requirements.
And positive news on the job front tonight as the economy continues to improve.
Now, this is 8 News Now, live at 6:30. Live, local, now.
It's another bad day for passengers on Spirit Airlines. The company canceled more flights as they try to fix what they are calling operational challenges. Good evening and thank you for joining us here at 6:30. I'm Christian Caceres.
And I'm Vanessa Murphy. It's becoming a common occurrence for passengers on Spirit Airlines. The hustle and bustle at the airport drop-off are more of a bust because of canceled flights. Spirit has canceled hundreds of flights nationwide. They say they're working as fast as possible to fix the problem so they can get people to where they need to be. In a statement Tuesday morning, a Spirit spokesman said the airline is working to find solutions to what they're calling operational challenges. On Monday, they denied rumors that the cancellations were due to a pilot strike.
I think a lot of people are devastated. They really are devastated. And I always did like Spirit. I'm very disappointed that they would do this to their people.
Airport officials suggest checking in before you get to the airport, sign up for notifications, and get to the airport early, at least 2 hours for domestic and 3 for international flights.
The Delta variant is driving a new surge in COVID cases, with experts warning the numbers could go higher. That's triggering new mask mandates, including for some schools. Now, the CDC says daily COVID-19 cases have reached the highest total since February. The number of new cases topped 106,000 yesterday. Experts expect the numbers will only rise in the face of large events such as the motorcycle rally now underway in South Dakota.
I keep telling people, don't think you can run out the game clock. It's not going to happen. Ultimately, this virus will keep circulating until it finds you.
A new study from the CDC finds COVID-19 vaccines offer higher protection from the virus than previous infection.
The job market continues to improve. For a second straight month, employers added hundreds of thousands of workers. According to the Labor Department, 943,000 jobs were added to the economy last month. The unemployment rate dropped 5.9% in June to 5.4% in July, slightly lower than what economists had expected. President Biden says the economy is headed in the right direction.
The unemployment rate is the lowest since the pandemic hit. The bottom line is this: what we're doing is working.
It appears more people are returning to the office as well. 13.2% of employees worked remotely in July, down from 14.4% in June.
As the Tokyo Olympics begin to wind down and COVID cases in Tokyo spike, the question becomes what happens when everyone travels back home? Marilena Balares spoke with an infection disease expert in the U.S. to find out.
It's not an optimistic outlook from Dr. Stephen Thomas, but it's a realistic one.
You know, we are one of the global hotspots.
As athletes, media, staff, coaches, and Olympic organizers prepare to travel back to the States, Dr. Thomas says things have changed.
They should understand they're coming back to a different place.
This is thanks to the Delta variant, which spreads faster than many of the original strains of COVID-19.
As much COVID activity as you're seeing in Japan and in Tokyo specifically, you're going from a warm spot to a hot spot.
And here in Tokyo, we have seen athletes test positive and then not be able to compete. Thomas says that could be seen as an incentive to get a vaccine, but he says the bigger incentive should be your life.
I am not a dramatic person or a melodramatic person, but really the incentive is your life. This new virus variant, in addition to being more infectious, we feel very confident is also much more severe.
Thomas is glad the games happened, even with the challenges and changes.
I am personally glad that they that they did it and they tried very hard to mitigate risks so they could do it.
In Tokyo, I'm Marielena Dolores.
Still ahead, Best in Show. Tickets are on sale for the Animal Foundation's 18th annual event. The details on the other side of the break.
Oh, that's a great show. Hey, a little bit of wind to wind up the week. We'll fill you in on the haze, possible wildfire smoke for the weekend. The most accurate Weather Now forecast live.
Innovation on 8 News Now. Live at 6:30. This is 8 News Now.
Tickets are now on sale for the Animal Foundation's 18th annual Best in Show. Dogs and new this year, kittens will compete in several categories. All of the animals will be available for option. It'll take place Sunday, September 26th at the Thomas and Mack Center. Tickets are $5. The event will also be live streamed for those who can't make it.
First Friday returns downtown tonight. It's in the Arts District from 5 to 11 p.m. The festival's theme for August is Good Vibes Only. It's free to attend. There will be plenty of art, entertainment, and food.
Well, 24-hour bingo at Arizona Charlie's is back. It starts next Friday, August 13th, beginning at 9 a.m. Now, the event will include a raffle with a grand prize drawing during the 7 a.m. on Saturday. There will also be a chance to win free slot play, bingo rainbows, and mystery prizes. All bingo players who participate during the 7 a.m. session on Saturday will receive a branded T-shirt.
Who doesn't like bingo? A rock and roll legend will be bringing his talents as Vegas's newest resident. Gene Simmons has confirmed with 8 News Now a KISS residency happening December 27th through February inside Planet Hollywood. In addition to his singing career, he also draws, but he doesn't really consider himself an artist. Why not? His art is on display at the Grand Canal Shops. Coming up, the beginning of the school year is just days away. We hear from a doctor about why he's raising awareness for children's mental health.
Green Valley, Summerlin, and Centennial.
8 News Now live at 6:30 with Brian Loftus, Denise Valdez, and Ted Florendo. 8 News Now live at 6:30. Live, local, now.
We are just days away before thousands of students return to the classrooms for their first day of the new school year. Now, one key factor to watch: monitor your child's mental health. I spoke to Dr. Sheldon Jacobs on behalf of Hope Means Nevada on why they are raising awareness on this issue.
We're living in uncharted waters, and so I think that all the uncertainty that's come with living throughout this pandemic, the different changes in terms of when it comes to masks or not having to wear a mask, and all the different mandates that are out there, it's just caused a lot of anxiety, a lot of uncertainty. And so as a result of that, it's led to mental health struggles for many people. So now we're trying to get our kids to go back to a somewhat normal environment of school. However, it's not really that normal because they're going to be forced to wear masks. And when you think about just the past 18 months, many of them have not been in a classroom for such a long period of time. So I think just that change or that adjustment can add to anxiety, can add to other mental health related struggles. Some things that you may want to look out for is if your child is experiencing more tantrums than usual or more emotional outbursts, that could be a sign that something more on the line is going. Or if they are experiencing, this behavior where they're more clingy, where they don't want to be left alone, and that is, kind of unusual for them, that could be another sign. This is a big one for some teens, where if they're starting to experiment with substances, so substance use could be a sign, or sexually acting out could be another sign. a big one, and I've seen this a lot over the course of the past 18 months because of the pandemic, and that is a change in academic functioning. So if you have a student who's normally a straight A student or an AB student, and all of a sudden they're failing most of their classes, it could be a sign of something else that might be going on. And if a child is reporting that they have thoughts of wanting to harm themselves or harm others, again, that's definitely a sign that something is underlying. And so if they're trying to hurt themselves in particular, you may want to look at reaching out to a mental health professional, contacting a hospital, depending on the severity of that. I think the first thing would be, if you have private insurance, reach out to your insurance provider. Most insurance cards on the back of the ID, there's a member ID, a member services number that you can call and ask for a printout of providers that accept that respective insurance. If you don't have private insurance but have maybe Medicaid, or you don't have insurance at all, 211 is another great resource. And with 211, you can text 211 and you'll get a link to services. You can call the number 211 as well. If you see any changes in behavior in your kids, you do not want to ignore it. You want to be proactive versus reactive. It all starts with sleep. Sleep is such a huge one, and I can't stress that enough. Kids should be getting anywhere from 9-10 hours of sleep at night. The video games, being on the tablets right up until bedtime, that also can impact sleep. There's been a lot of research that's been focused on that over the past couple of years, in terms of having like an hour or two in between the time you stop you playing or using the devices to the time you go to sleep.